Hello, and welcome to another episode of Tech Money Diaries podcast, where we talk about real tech, real money, and real life. And we are in our podcast series where we're doing quick checks or quick pulse, should I call it. And it is from our Tech Money Diaries podcast called Tech Money Diaries. So without further ado, we'll just jump right into it. In today's post, we talk about two tech and AI news stories, one cyber alert, one pay watch, and no opportunities. However, if you're looking for opportunities, we do have the link to our 30 platforms in 30 days. That'll be linked in the description. So stay tuned for the rest of the information. I think it will still be helpful. We cover real news stories within tech and AI, cyber, and the gig economy. You never know what you'll learn today. So make sure you stay tuned and don't forget to click on the links for our series that we just finished up this month. And then also, we're starting a new series. So take a look at the new series that'll be posted as well. So without further ado, our tech and AI insights, we're actually talking about small AI models that are gaining popularity due to their efficiency and versatility. Also, we're going to talk about on development deployment, which it matters for enhancing users' privacy and reducing latency in AI applications. So, with that being said, looks like MIT is actually hitting this off with the new module. Looks like this module is founded by MIT Computer Sciences in 2023, and it looks like it's called Liquid AI. And then its module is actually called, and they actually introduced this back in July, Liquid Foundation Model Series 2. And this news story is pretty much just letting you know that, hey, there are some small modules that are out there that's not as popular as others. And as far as information about this, definitely check out our link to the news stories that are going to be in this episode in the description. That way, you'll get the full story on what's going on with these small modules that are being introduced. And then looks like the module family is actually designed around real constraints and not GPU labs. So that's pretty interesting. And it goes into detail on why this matters for enterprise teams. So if you're a part of any enterprise team, this is definitely something that you want to check out. It does go over why it matters in detail for predictability, operational portability, and on-device feasibility. So for more information, just definitely check out the link in our description. And then it's going into how it's training a pipeline for enterprise relevant behavior on a smaller scale, which is really interesting. You don't hear much about the small scale modules that are out there. And in particular, it is going over some emerging blueprints for hybrid enterprise AI architectures. So if you're into different AI architecture, this will definitely be a good something to just dive into so you can get familiar with that. And then it goes into some strategic takeaways for CIOs, if you're a CIO, or CTOs that are finalizing their 2026 roadmap. So I know we're heading into 2026. So if you're trying to get up to date on where it is that you should be going, and when it comes to this, this is definitely a good source. So definitely look into this. And then without further ado, we'll go on to our next segment. Actually, this is still in our current segment, and it's just another story here. So in the Tech and AI Insights segment, we're talking about trust factors as well, which is human trust factors that's essential for AI to succeed and gain user acceptance. Also, we're going to talk about validation needs just a little bit. AI validation requires human oversights to ensure effectiveness and reliability in the real world applications. So, when it comes to human trust, this news story is actually talking about Gemini 3 Pro scores at a 69%, trust in blind testing up from 16% for Gemini 2.5. The case for evaluating AI on real world trust, not academic benchmark. So, just to kind of get you to understand what they're referring to, this is actually referring to how essential human trust is to succeed, for AI to succeed. And it's just breaking down how blinded testing reveals what academic benchmark miss. So this is something to definitely take note of because a lot of times we see when different modules come out and things are not as it should be. So this is just going into how like some of that may be missed because of what the methodology basically that's being used and to evaluate the models. Pretty much validation, in other words. So, what trust means in AI evaluations, it goes into what trust means and like safety measures, user confidence and reliability, factual accuracies, responsible behavior, ethics as well. So I would definitely say dive into this to find out more in-depth information on what trust factors are essential for AI to succeed and gain user acceptance. Now we're moving on to our cyber alert segment. So in the cyber alert segment, we're talking about ransomware impact, a staggering 2.1 billion lost from ransomware attacks highlights urgent cybersecurity needs. I've been talking about this for a minute now. Like it's not enough cybersecurity governance in general that's happening because it's just too much things are happening when it comes to this. And then also, remote workers are prime targets for cyber criminals, increasing vulnerability to attack. So if you work remotely, listen up because this definitely talks about your your risk being a remote worker because you're one of the prime targets. So you have to be safe and just mind what it is that you're saving on your computer, data storage, and things of that nature. So FinCEN says ransomware gangs extorted over $2.1 billion from 2022 to 2024. Wow, that is a lot. And this article is going over what the FinCEN is, Financial Crimes Enforcement Network, and it's just giving a account of ransomware activity. And it goes into like thousands of Bank Secrecy Act filings. This is a lot of information that people really don't stay up to date on, that don't understand that they really need to be mindful of how they show up as a remote worker, because cybersecurity threats are getting really, really easy to do. And it's not a lot of governance on it. So I'm definitely like one of the people that's pushing for that, because it's just too much going on. You would be presently surprised on what happens behind the scenes that you're not aware of. It also goes into how law enforcement operations show impact. And then it just gives a little some statistics on that. I definitely encourage you to check out this source here so you can find out more information regarding this. And those of you who are in like the cybersecurity field and looking for something to like grow and develop in, then there is definitely a need for this type of work. So read up on it and see what skills you would need to be successful in solving this problem. But without further ado, we'll go ahead and move on to our next segment, which is our pay watch segment. So in our pay watch segment, we're talking about low pay. Survey work offers minimal compensation affecting financial stability. However, it's still available if you have some free time. It's different things that you can do to earn, and time matters. Evaluating time versus payoff reveals essential insight for workers. So, for example, Unite. Unite. What is Unite? Unite is a survey app, and it's by Potluck. It is a market research company that offers consumers small payments for answering survey questions. This is definitely something that you should check out. It looks like they pay between $1 and it may require between 8 and 20 minutes of your time. So it may average on $3 to $8 per hour. So if you're not looking for that low amount of pay, I mean, it's something that's out there. Just you never know how easy the little surveys are. But that is just a good thing to know about, especially if you're looking for other things where you can implement in your free time. But check out our source when it comes to this particular survey platform, and you'll find out much more about it. It'll be in the description in the video. All right, and then enhance efficiency with advanced AI solutions, building human trust in technology applications, and prioritizing security in the digital age. With that being said, let me go through our takeaways for this episode. So, some takeaways that I wanted to talk about is forget chasing supermassive AI models for everything. We did discuss earlier in the episode that liquid AI is showing us that smaller, more efficient AI on devices is a real game changer for privacy and real-time solutions. So maybe that's it. Maybe the modules are too getting too sophisticated where we just need to break them down into smaller so some of this cybersecurity mishaps could be mitigate it at where they are. If you're in development, start looking to optimize for on-device deployment. That's where the next wave of innovation is hitting, it's mentioning here. So when you're evaluating AI for your projects, don't just lean on academic benchmarks. Definitely, we all know that humans can err. Google's Gemini 3 Pro showed us that real world trust and usefulness assessed by a diverse human panel is critical. So human factor in AI is definitely needed. Incorporate human-centric vetting into your AI integration strategies to ensure broader acceptance and actual effectiveness. And some heads up to everyone. Ransomware is a massive threat. We did discuss how it has extorted over 2.1 billion in just 2 years. And so even if you're a remote worker, you are a target. So listen up. If it's something on your computer or something that you don't want on there, please be mindful of how these exploitations are just in effect. You never know who's watching. And then boost your cybersecurity game, multi-factor authentication, robust backups, staying updated. Check out those phishing tactics. They are no longer what the standard used to be. They are very much so more sophisticated than they used to be. So they are essential that you stay up to date on this information, especially as a remote worker. And thank you all for watching and tuning in. For any inquiries or support, please reach out to us at techmoneydiaries@gmail.com. You can like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for tuning in. And for more information and stories, please subscribe to our channel for that. Also, we just finished up a 30 platforms in 30 days series where we talked about 30 platforms that you can gain works with. So I will link that in the description of this video so you can take a look at those videos as well. Definitely a lot of information out there that some people don't know, and we are doing these podcast series so you can stay up to date on what's going on in tech and AI, cyber, and the gig economy. A lot of this information you're probably not even familiar with, not even aware that it's going on. So we have a quick series that we're doing, which I'm calling the Tech Money Diaries, the Pulse, and it's just quick videos on different topics like I discussed on tech and AI, cyber, and the gig economy. So like news stories that you may need to know. And thank you again for tuning in and watching us. Until the next episode, have a great rest of your day.